Good evening. I know our time is far much spent and I don't want to take much of your time. What I'll request is that you allow us that you are here today. We start this journey together. If you allow me, so that we'll be able next time to plan better and bigger and a more structured conversation. You know, all the time I've done outreaches, we've been doing philanthropy work, all the programs we've ever done. Truthfully, I've never involved partners or called such a meeting. So this was a benchmarking meeting for me, a learning experience, unlearning and relearning. And because I'll start going back and forth, and I had at least given a sneak peek of what we are to expect. In fact, psycho-spiritual wholeness in a retreat center in a project you are hapo visually as a nini. There are so many things we were to do. Coach Eric is here. He was to do a presentation because I wanted us to understand how important it is to take care of our physical well-being. But unaona hiyo time hakuna. Pastor Kamau is here. Yes, ameingia late, but he's a financial consultant. I wanted us to give him an opportunity to talk matters of finances, lakini haitawezekana. So ni kama nita summarize, lakini munikubali, next year mwezi wa 4, niwaite tena for dinner. That time we'll have more time, but because I've told you, by the grace of God, that partner bought that land 2.6 million in cash. Bwana asifiwe. And as Peter amesema, Reverend Collins amesema, and all of us, na Wambugu amesema, money should not deter us from pursuing a vision. But again, Peter said, okay, finances or money is a conversation that we cannot shy away from. In fact, when Peter was asking, nilikuwa nasikia niinue mkono nimwambie, because I think mimi huwa siogopi some of these things. Niseme nahitaji upako mwingi zaidi, wisdom mwingi, grace nyingi. By the way, sometimes all these things can come packaged as money. Bwana asifiwe. All these things can become packaged as money. And I don't know whether we were oriented, because you know, even in the gospel of Jesus Christ, there are people who fight prosperity. Like me, I talk about it a lot online, because there are people who don't believe kuongea maneno ya pesa ni spiritual. When you talk about money, they want to hide behind religion and they call you a prosperity preacher. But me, I tell you, even if you're healthy, you have everything. In this physical realm, if you don't have money, you'll make even God look ridiculous. Because there are no spiritual, like vitu zenye, hii vision tunahitaji pesa, touch people's life. Like when we do free mental health counseling in Psycho-Spiritual Wholeness NGO, we look for counselors, we'll buy water. These counselors, as much as they are professionals, tuseme hata ni mwito, they are called. They cannot come serve the whole day and tell them, God bless you. See, at least you give them something. Like when we want to reach out to the community, we want all dimensions of life to be in sync. We need health. That's why we talk matters of health, our psychological well-being, our spirituality, but ultimately the conversation that will not shy away from is that we need finances. But we thank the Lord that money is a resource, but behind resources there is a source, and the source is God. Bwana asifiwe. And that's why all of you here, you may not have the money today. Don't feel, hey, kama ilikuwa story ya pesa, sasa kuna vile tu imeanza kuwa ngumu. But when you become an ambassador of Psycho-Spiritual Wholeness NGO, next time before April, when we call you for that meeting, so you can invite a resourceful person mwenye yeye anaweza kuwa na hiyo pesa yenye tunahitaji. And that's why I really needed to cast the vision, because what I wanted is you to understand who we are, what we stand for. Can we be trusted? The second request I request as I talk about mwezi wa 4, we need more resourceful people. We need accountability partners. Simeona NGOs ikianza na motive mzuri, lakini ikifika mahali, example, because even my husband is part of Psycho-Spiritual Wholeness NGO, inataniwa inakuwa family property. That's why I want this vision itoke kwa mikono yangu, ikuje kwa mikono yenyu. And you are my friends. When we are paying school fees for children, I don't know how to mentor watoto wadogo. The teachers are here. They'll help us in this journey. What I mean, people of God, is that all of you that I invited you today, you are very important to me. You are resources that God can use and will use to make this vision come to completion. And that's why in that wall yenye tulikuwa, I request to see left. But at the same time, I don't want you to be obliged. Na kuna wengine wako hapa, they were not in that wall. I'm requesting you become the first accountability partners or the first pillars of the next trajectory of Psycho-Spiritual Wholeness NGO. And in that, I'll share the strategic plan. We'll start your conversation one day at a time until April next year. I would have done that dinner next year, August, but sijuu ya elections, it is impossible. Like right now, we need 132 shillings to do transfer ya hizo land zenye tulinunuliwa. And by the grace of God, after this dinner, already tumepata hiyo pesa ya kutransfer hizo 4 pieces of land. If we didn't have money, you've been bought land, how would we have been able to transfer so that it come to Psycho-Spiritual Wholeness NGO? The next trajectory itakuwa kufence. Albert, I think ameenda. Tumeshaongea na yeye maneno ya kumwaga mawe, ndio tuanze kufence hiyo space. Na hiyo sitawaita bado. The next trajectory itakuwa ni kuchimba maji, kuweka solar, because to cut cost in that wellness center, because electricity is expensive and everything. We plan to use solar in the whole institution. What I'm saying, people of God, next year by the time I'm calling you and I'll be requesting you, we come again and have this conversation. Tutakuwa tumefence hiyo, tumetransfer the land is in our name, na tumefence hiyo space. Lakini mimi naomba between now and April, Mungu aweke kitu kwa mfuko yetu, ili sasa wakati tutakutana kuanzisha foundation ya hiyo Psycho-Spiritual Wholeness in a retreat center. Bwana asifiwe. And if you don't have money today, child of God, God can be trusted. Everyone who knows me in this space, because kila mtu ananijua hapa in many dimensions, I thank the Lord that there are those people who knew me when I was a natural man. A natural man is that person who operate in body and soul, zero spirituality. I grew up in a religious institution. You've been told by your parents many things about God, but zero experience. And I would feel, ay, apana. Then I received the precious gift of salvation after my maternal grandmother talking to me about God, salvation. But when I received the precious gift of salvation, nothing changed. Niliingia kwa dini and I became a carnal man. And I know there are people who have known me nikiwa that religious, nikiwa carnal. Ni ile wakati unafanya dhambi na bado uko kwa Mungu, hata usikii condemn, na hata wacha hivyo watu wa Mungu, because now those are the people I walk with. You have no power to say no to ungodliness, because Christ has not been revealed to you. Bwana asifiwe. What I mean is that you know me in different seasons, a natural man, a carnal man, and now that I'm spiritual, and there are those people who have walked with me when I was a spiritual baby, but now I'm growing day by day to continue aligning with my identity in God, to continue aligning with this nature that now I know I'm a spiritual being who have a body, and in the body there is the soul. What do I mean, child of God? When I talk about money, according to the level that you are in, maybe from upbringing, the situation that you are in right now, and many other issues, you may feel left out. Esther can tell you, there was a place tulikuwa tunasoma na yeye miaka nyingi kwa kanisa. Mimi ningesikia pastor anasema ati utoe sadaka ya 1000, nilikuwa nasema hawa ni wale prosperity preachers. 1,000 utatoa ubakishe nini? Because I think 1,000 was like a million to me. But it took mind renewal, understanding who I am in God, knowing the sufficiency that is in God, that when today we have a budget of 10 million, I still feel like I have that money here. I know it is already released in the spirit. Now the process and the steps you are taking is to align with that fullness that is in God. Bwana asifiwe. I'm encouraging you that right now you may not have the money. You may be that person like me. Tukiongea 10 million nasema hata watu wanakuwa joka, zi pesa kweli inaweza toka wapi? But do you know it is just to align and allow yourself to co-work with God, and now you will become a kingdom financier. And it is not only for Psycho-Spiritual Wholeness NGO. If we allow God to use us as taps, we'll never run dry. Na ndio sababu hata kama hatuna pesa leo, hatutaomba pesa ingine between now and April. Tutaita meeting kidogo which I will be financing. Tunakaa chini, tunakunywa chai, tunakaa chini, tunajadiliana, tunakaa chini, tunaongea. But I assure you, by April next year, nitawaita tukiwa tumefence huko Mau Summit or even visit together. Then tuombe Mungu tuwe na kitu kwa mfuko, tupande mbegu ya kuanza kujenga hiyo mahali. Si ndio watu wa Mungu? And I've been telling God, because the hardest thing for me have been to stand before people and request for money. Mimi I think hiyo ndio kitu ngumu kwangu. Nilikuwa naambia Mungu, Lord, if it is you who have called me, never turn me to be a beggar. But I've understood over time that when God wants to bless people, when God wants to propel a vision to the next stage, He uses people. If today God was to bring me a milioni moja yanguke hapa kwa madhabahu, serikali itakuja kutushika tuseme tunatengenezea wapi pesa, si ndio? Kwa hivyo hii pesa iko kwa mifuko yetu, and we can agree with God to become partners and co-workers of the Psycho-Spiritual Wholeness NGO. And ultimately the vision that we are casting is the building of Psycho-Spiritual Wholeness in a retreat center. And I beg to stop there. I know people of God, like there is Shadrach there who is from St. Paul. He can speak many things about St. Paul. Tukimaliza tufanye tu networking. Tusikimbie mbio tutoke. Let's exchange contacts. Let's talk what we do, each and every one of us. There is Pastor Mike there. Akona music school inaitwa Gold Street. Hata msichana wangu hapa anajifunzanga keyboard kwake, Kyla. Like there is a lot we do in our different spaces. Unaweza kuwa wewe ni muimbaji, lakini voice yenye iko kwa kichwa na yenye inatoka kwa mdomo hazipelekani. No, that's why you need Pastor Mike. Because what God gives us is raw material. It is our responsibility to fan it, to sharpen it, to add value to it. And it is in that space that now you can stand before kings. We don't want to exit this physical realm mukiwa na raw material ndani yako, si ndio watu wa Mungu? And that's why we need each other. Hata mimi nikitaka kuimba, I go to him. And when we know what each one of us is doing, we can become a force to reckon with, to the glory of God. There is the representative of Great 20. G20 is a circle, a partner with the Psycho-Spiritual Wholeness NGO. Truthfully, let me tell you the truth, because I want to be authentic. Hata hii process naanza ya kufence and everything, it is them who have given me money. Because mimi nimejitoa kwa Mungu. Naambia Mungu, mimi hakuna kitu yangu na yako. I'm just a steward of everything that you give me. Nimeenda kwao, nimewaambia hii vision na nikawaambia nipeeni pesa ya kuweka huko fence. Ili wakati sasa tunakutana na partners na waambia ni kujenga. So I'm not saying that this vision I'm dormant, waiting on you or waiting on God. Si niliwaambia ile story ya ule mtu aliachia Mungu shamba. And I can tell you hiyo shamba haikuwa inakaa vizuri, and God is almighty. Magugu, wadudu na nini. What I mean, even when God has given you a vision, you do your part, you leave the rest to God. And I thank you for taking your time to come Mahali penye si pesa ilikuwa inapeanwa, si serikali ilitana pahali ipeane. In fact, ni nyinyi mulikuja kunipea pesa because hii dinner sijatoa hata shilingi, but it is fully paid for. Tumekula hata chakula imebakisha, na ni kwa sababu wengi wenyu mmetoa pesa. I want to thank you.